So I'm going to start with the gentleman from my extreme left. And good afternoon to you, sir.
I'm Dwayne Hendrickson, Senior Tax Officer within the Ministry of Finance, Inland Revenue Department.
And we can go to the lovely lady on your left, Mr. Hendrickson.
All right. Good afternoon, and my name is Neva Manners Limonta, and I am the Deputy Comptroller for the Inland Revenue Department on Nevis. It's a pleasure to be here.
Also, I was informed that we have the Comptroller, Mr. Edward Gift, who is here virtually, and good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to join the team physically there due to other time constraints.
Now, gentlemen and lady, we understand, based on the information we've been provided with, the Inland Revenue Department as a whole has made some upgrades regarding, I believe, one of their systems. Now, could you just, speak about, the system, the changes? Could you just delve into that for us, for the sake of the public that don't necessarily understand that kind of thing? Could you just provide some details as to what's going on as it relates to that particular system?
Well, thank you. And the Inland Revenue Department is all about focusing on improving its customer service experience. Our customers, which some person call taxpayers, but we call them customers. We are currently in the process of replacing our tax administration system, which represents a significant step in modernizing our tax processes and improving our taxpayer services operations. This new system is called SMART, and my colleague could just speak a bit about it.
Okay, so certainly in addition to what Comptroller Gift has said, this new system called SMARTS, it is a game changer in terms of its efficiency and accuracy, and we promise you it will be beneficial to both, not just the taxpayers, as Mr. Gift referred to, but you, our customers, and the entire tax department.
Okay, so guys, what we just want to know, what are the key features of the new system that will address, certain challenges persons will have experienced?
As Mr. Giff and Mrs. Manners mentioned earlier, we are making a step into the right direction. SMART stands for Smart, Modernize, Administration. SMART stands for Smart, Modernize, Administration, Revenue and Taxation System. So basically, we have experienced some challenges in the past, such as struggling to keep up with the change in tax laws. We struggle with the increased volume of data because, it's we're in 2023, heading into 2024. A lot of people are opening up businesses, so there are a lot of corporations, a lot of small businesses. So we also needed a system that can handle that volume of data. We also used to experience some delays and when it comes to processing tax returns. So all of these challenges SMARTS would address.
Well, so far that sounds good. It sounds promising. What we just want to know as well, for the sake of the radio listeners, how will this upgrade impact the tax department's efficiency and revenue collection efforts?
Okay, if I may jump in here. We talk about filing returns, and so this SMART system, will make the process easy, user-friendly. Taxpayers will also appreciate the convenience of filing online. Persons can be able to not just come into a long line anymore. Persons can stay right in the comfort of their homes, log on to the system, and do their online filings. Additionally, the payments will be, a more secure option and improved access overall to the tax administration system. Those are just some of the additional key features that simplifies the overall online filing in general and payment.
I guess that can be attributed to the fact where Mr. Hendrickson and Mrs. Lamont and Mr. Giff, who is here virtually, what I'm garnering from you guys are striving for greater efficiency, because one would imagine you guys don't want to have people in long queues.
Correct.
Waiting to pay whatever they would owe to the department or whatever. Because let's face it, I was having a discussion with a gentleman just before you guys came in, and let's face it, the world is moving at a place where no one wants to wait around anymore. You know, it's not a matter of people are impatient, but people like to know that they have things on the go. That's why WhatsApp and so is created and so on. And so one would imagine if I can have things almost instantaneously, I mean, personally speaking, that's a plus. So, you know, kudos to you guys so far and what you guys are doing so far. Now, one thing is very important is, you know, security. As it relates to even WhatsApp, we find out there are encrypted messages now, encrypted this, encrypted that. So what about security? How is taxpayer data protected in the new system?
Thank you very much for that question. I think this is one of the things that the administration makes sure that security of our customers' information is top concern. SMART, our new tax administration system, just like that of other financial institutions, employs advanced data encryption along with multi-factor authentication. We also perform regular security audits to ensure the utmost protection of our customers' information. Supporting our systems, we also have in place different cyber security tools that audit our environment and ensure that the likelihood of a cyber breach is something that is reduced. We can't provide 100% guarantee, but we have taken all the reasonable steps to ensure that our customers' data is protected and the environment that they log on to is secure and safe.
Mr. Giff, thank you very much for that, and that sounds good. It sounds reassuring. Transitioning to a new system can be, you know, challenging. You know, one would imagine even for some of us that grew up, and I believe Mr. Hendrickson can attest to this, where we had things like them old cartridges for the video games and so on, and now we have the cloud, things on the cloud and so on. For some of us, it takes a little time for us to adjust, but I believe we have adapted to it. But as it relates to the fact that transitioning can be challenging, how will taxpayers be informed and assisted during this process?
Okay, if I may add to that, thank you for that question. And we are here today at Von Radio, and that is one of the key measurements that we have in place to spread the word and communicate with our public as to what they can expect is coming of this new system. We do have an extensive communication plan. Like I said, we are here. We have already started to disseminate the information via email, Facebook, such the like. Taxpayers via these medium will be able to receive clear instructions via other channels, like I said, mail, email, website. We also offer webinars and a dedicated helpline that will greatly assist this transitioning. We need to get out and provide the communication so that persons are fully abreast and updated as to what to expect. So thank you for having us.
And you know, they say manners take you around the world and back, and I would have to say you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. But what about the staff within the tax department itself? How are they being prepared for this transition?
So, as it relates to the staff at the Inland Revenue Department, we have gone through some comprehensive training programs. So, our department is divided into several divisions, such as the property unit, audit unit, collections unit, etc., etc. So each unit, they have gone through, like I said, a comprehensive training program where they learn about how to use the system, how could it work in the benefit of both the taxpayer and them as a staff. And like I mentioned earlier, the ease of doing business. And notwithstanding that, the staff is always going to be supported in this initiative as we transition and change over to the smart system.
Mr. Hendrickson, thank you very much for that. And I like the fact that, you know, you're making sure the staff as a whole, not just a particular sect within the department is trained, but everyone understands the assignment, so to speak, you know. In terms of cost and budget, what steps have been taken to ensure that this upgrade is cost effective?
Oh. Thank you. One of the key things that we did at the onset of this project is that we have conducted a thorough cost benefit analysis. We have also put in place a dedicated project management team that is focused on monitoring expenses and ensure that we stay within budget and monitoring all of the different project activities to ensure at the end of the day the Federation gets maximize its return on its investment. So everything that we are doing is presently on budget and is on time.
So, Mr. Gift, if I'm to read you correctly, just to sum it up, you're making sure things are being done decently and in order then?
Yes, that is, the team would have sat with our partners, Caribbean firm, and developed a project implementation schedule and have ensured that we have met the timelines in terms of the implementation of the overall project.
Now, gentlemen and lady, what we would just like to know, what do you believe will be the most significant positive outcomes of this upgrade for both the tax department and taxpayers?
Well, if you could just allow me to add, I think the whole purpose of why we are undertaking this is for the benefit of our customers. That is, as you said, you recognize everything now is in a digital age. We believe that the system would allow the department to move into the whole atmosphere of providing the convenience of online services being available 24 hours and a smoother filing and paying experience with the department. That is, now once you make a payment, you would be able to see that payment on a real-time basis in the system. Also, you would be able to see any request that you made in the system, and the progress tracks its progress through the tax department and which officer is dealing with your issue. Overall, from a department perspective, we expect that we'll have increased efficiency in the processing of returns. We expect that there will be better customer satisfaction and hence higher compliance rate. And we believe that will lead to better accuracy, better information that we could even share later on with our other stakeholders like yourselves in terms of compliance rates and performance of taxes within the Federation. But we think it's certainly a win-win for our customers. That is, we think our customers would really see the benefits of this new system.
Now, for the sake of those that have just joined us and those that are listening, we're speaking about the fact of the Inland Revenue Department's new tax administration system, where, to sum it up, they're going electronically, so to speak, you know, efficient. We have garnered the fact that things going that route is more efficient, that sort of thing. And it's to avoid, you know, persons in long queues, you know, because let's face it, it's very tedious going that route. And let's consider the fact that with AI on the rise and so on, you know, this is a step in the right direction, so to speak. So again, to you, Mr. Gift and Mrs. Lamonta and Mr. Hendrickson, you guys coming here today just to, you know, disseminate this kind of information, I believe it's commendable. to let the public know what is going to happen before it happens, rather than dropping the bomb on people and say, hey, you have to adjust. So I believe it's commendable on you guys' part, and we hope, things will work out, because let's face it, God forbid, we know that we had early this year, hackers hacking into certain systems. So what I just want to know, well, we did talk about security earlier, about 5 minutes or 10 minutes ago, but what I would just like to know, and for the sake of the public, is the department as a whole prepared, to some extent, for that kind of breach, so to speak? I don't know if Mr. Giff or Mrs. Lamont or Mr. Hendrickson, if you're at liberty, to speak about that, but I'm just throwing it out there, because let's face it, once you have idle hands, people find all kind of illicit things to commit. So we just want to know that, for the sake of the radio listeners. I don't know, who can take this question, but we just wanted to know.
Yes, we thank you for the question. And as we said, the department, as part of its business continuity procedures, does have in place cyber security breach procedures. In the event, the likelihood of that event happening, and our data is backed up in different locations, and we have the ability to replicate the information. As you said, the protection of our information of our customers is important to us, and just like also that is on your door, I'm certain you have a knob that you turn and you still have a deadbolt, right?
Of course.
Yes. Well, at the department, we have more than one system that monitor the cybersecurity environment of the department to ensure that the government system is protected, and the government itself recognizes the whole importance of cybersecurity and the protection of its data, and has taken steps to address this as proactive in a way as it can. So we just thank you very much for that question, and for us to be able to provide the reassurance that yes, we have procedures in place in the event of a cybersecurity breach.
Gentlemen and lady, what we would just like to know as well, with this new system, would there be any cost attached to the taxpayers for using this system, or it's pro bono?
What I would like to add, as you mentioned, cost and the new system, though, is another bit of important information with regards to the payment and renewal of business and occupation license. We know that persons are normally accustomed to come into the department already, even though the existing system requires a payment through to the end of January. However, we have extended the payment deadline to facilitate a smooth transition. We go live come next year, January 23rd, 2024, God's willing. And so we have extended the payment deadline down to March 31st, 2024. So persons who have not heard the information as yet, we are extending the payment deadline, and so we would not be accepting the renewal currently. So we are asking that you come in once the system has gone live, and that is again January 23rd, right? And so don't be afraid, we will not be charging any additional interest or late payment penalties. We have extended it beyond January 31st down to March 31st, right? So I think this is key information that the public needs to be aware of.
Additionally, if I may interject as well, Mrs. Lamanta spoke about the business and occupation license. So next year we will be going live, or as we would say, launch in 2 phases. So we have a phase in January that was just alluded to earlier, and then there's another phase again later down in the year. So I think it's important that we let our taxpaying community know that the following tax types are the ones that are going live in January, and they are VAT, that we affectionately, for the value-added tax that is affectionately known as VAT. We will be going live with property tax, the business and occupation license, the liquor license. Also, we'll be going live with the corporate income tax, the unincorporated business tax, and any on-demand fees and licenses and taxes also. So it's evident that these are the department's core tax types. So these are the tax types we are going live with come January.
Well, thank you guys very much for that. That's comforting to know that no costs attached. But I like how Mrs. Lamont put in the plug to say, don't worry, no additional charges or whatever, but you have until this time to pay though. So I guess it goes back to the commercial where it says, pay your taxes today. Out of tune, but that's all right. But I guess it goes back to that, But that's good to hear. That's good to know you guys are, making the step to make sure persons are abreast and give people a chance, to pay what they ought to pay. We have a few minutes left, but what we just want to know, to you, Mr. Giff and Mr. Hendrickson and Mrs. Lamanta, is there anything you guys feel you should mention at this point in time that the public ought to know? Anything additional? Anything you want to throw out to the public to let them know that, hey, such and such is the case? I don't know. Anything at all?
Well, just to let our customers know is that as we look to implement this new system, we are currently undertaking an update of our taxpayer/customer information, and we would like to encourage all of those persons to visit the department and update their information to ensure that their transfer to the new system is as seamlessly as possible. And as my colleague Dwayne would have said, is that please note this is not a one-time change over. That is, you won't be waking up the next day and saying, oh, everything has changed at Inland Revenue. It's being done on a phase basis to manage this whole transition, where only selected taxes would be going live. So the majority of persons who may just interact with the department for the renewal of their driver's and vehicle licenses, it would be based upon the same procedures. However, for the businesses that have to pay their value-added tax, corporate income tax, or unincorporated business tax or licenses, it would be based upon the new system.
Mr. Giff, thank you very much for that. Mrs. Lamanta, is there anything you want to mention? Anything at all? Put in a plug for the Nevis branch? I don't know. Anything you feel?
Okay, what I would add, apart from what Mr. Gift would say, is that information is key. And we would have covered that in an earlier question and provided the response. Information is key, communication is key, and that is why we are here communicating and informing the public of what is expected. Our smart system, we would be going live, launching come next year, January 23rd. And so we want the public to stay tuned, keep abreast and close to your social media, other media channels, as we would be aiming to bring information regularly to keep you abreast of what is coming. And also, as a part of ensuring that we have a clean and smooth transition from the old to the new, we want to ensure that all of our information is accurate and up to date. So you may see from time to time officers reaching out to taxpayers and asking you to provide maybe one or two missing information from what we have. That is just to ensure that we have our records up to date. And also, as a gentle reminder, all those taxpayers who know you may have some outstanding arrears with the department here or there, we still encourage you to make a visit, make a phone call, and you say to us, am I in good standing? Am I up to date? What can I do to ensure that my account is up to date? Because I want to make sure that when I transition, I am spanking clean. Feel free to call us. We have our collections team. We are ready to help you. We offer comfortable payment arrangement plans, and this will help you to be in good standing and overall compliant with the system. And so with those words, I thank you very much for hosting us as we continue to share the information with you and the public.
Yes, Mr. Hendrickson.
And I would like to let the taxpaying community know that we are not leaving them in the wind. I encourage, as Mrs. Lamonta would have mentioned, that we'll be sharing information, key information in terms of the different changes and the dynamics, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things we want them to be on the lookout for is how to use our e-government portal, where that is where the taxpayers themselves will be interacting with the smart systems and getting a 360 view of their account and just doing the ease of business. So we do have a training plan and a training method for the taxpaying community, so that is something that they could look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen and lady, before you guys go, for the sake of the public too, could you just give out the contact details? Mr. Gift, could you just give out the contact details for the branch in St. Kitts, and then perhaps Mrs. Lamonta and Mr. Hendrickson, the details for Nevis, the contact details, that is.
Okay, certainly for additional information, you can reach us at 465-8485, extension 3530. This would be the line that is available for additional information. Neva?
Okay, and on Nevis, persons can feel free to contact us via telephone at 469-5856 or via the switchboard at 469-5521, extensions 5010 or 5020. And, for persons who wish to email, our email address for the department on Nevis is ird@niagov.com.
And let us not forget that additional information, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Just look for and search for the St. Kitts and Nevis Inland Revenue Department. You can also find us on Instagram at the handle @Inland Revenue. So the department is trendy, so we do have our social media accounts. Again, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Just search for the St. Kitts and Nevis Inland Revenue Department, or on Instagram using the handle Inland Revenue. And visit our website again, www.sknird.com.
Very good.
Mr. Dwayne Hendrickson, Mrs. Neva Manners Lamonta, and Mr. Edward Gift, thank you guys very much for your time. Thank you for the relevant information you guys would have provided about the smart system. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it, and we hope that the public, would have received your message in the way it ought to be have received. So again, thank you guys very much for your time. All the best to you. Based on what you guys are saying, the launch is scheduled for next year, January the 23rd. So God spare. We hope everything goes according to plan, and everything would be seamless. So Mr. Gift, Mrs. Lamonta, Mr. Hendrickson, thank you guys very much for your time. Have a great weekend. When next week comes, God spare again. Have a great week, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for having us.
Same to you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you guys are welcome. Take care.
Okay, bye.